Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully and welcome back to more Tales in Sonic 3 with another multiplayer stage that I take a little bit too long on. So, yeah, I figured I might as well talk about it. First of all, in terms of its aesthetics, I actually really like this stage. I wonder what it was initially meant to be. I want to say like some sort of like machine factory, maybe an airbase? But either way, like, I mean, the soothing blue tones and like the, you know, very metallic and the sort of green sort of color scheme, I don't know, it goes together quite nicely. So, yeah, props to the Sonic 3 art design team. Now, in terms of the design of the multiplayer stages themselves, again, they've got a fair bit of speed, but then you get stages like this, which, will pretty much go with the main design ethos of what the multiplayer stages entail, because basically the impulsive are doomed. Again, you need to be really patient, know how to use your abilities to well, their best, really. And again, just, be patient and know how to properly platform, because again, if you go quick like that, you're pretty much doomed, and, yeah. It can, make these stages a little bit hectic when it comes to the multiplayer, so... Again, like, I mean, they are fast, frenetic, and especially when you're in the heat of a race with your opponent, they can be fun. But I mean, to be honest, the multiplayer aspect is really nothing to write home about. It seems more like something that Sonic Team sort of designed in a weekend and thought, yeah, this will be fun, let's just ship the game as is. And, the Switch. Well, okay, first of all, there's also some power-ups and stuff to help or hinder players here and there, but, yeah, the Switch can affect whether or not, things will flip around, or if you'll get boosters. And again, if you don't hit the Switch, then, well, you don't get bounced anywhere. Except for through the floor, which shouldn't have happened. But yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote for the multiplayer stages. And, yeah, kind of being a bit sneaky here, because I've got a little bit of time before work, so I figured that I might as well just record another part of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 before I go off and do my workaday shift, and again, remember that life is boring and full of money, and more things to pay off with that money, rather than the women and the beer and the drugs. What am I talking about? I have no idea, but, yeah, we're pretty much done with the stage. And now, onwards to the next one. Yeah, apparently for the Act 2 mix of this new version of Carnival Nights, and apparently they just said, hey, let's use the song, but more. I mean, it's got energy to it, but I mean, its definition of energy is basically, hey, let's use the shitty melody, but punch people in the face with it. Because composing, whatevers. And to be honest, it's just not very good in terms of... Well, I mean, again, like, I mean, I'm no musical expert by any stretch of the imagination, but again, this is just... it's not very good. It's the definition of temp track, and it just pounds you in the bloody face. And again, Carnival Nights in Act 2 was one of the more boring stages of the game that contains the infamous barrel, so... what do you want, really? It's, one of the lesser zones, and... I suppose to disseminate why I think this zone just was kind of a bit pish, really, it's mainly because of the fact that it feels very repetitive in terms of what it wants you to do. Like, there's an underwater section, okay, now you have to do like a periodic bit of platforming around here. Oh, look, then there's more barrel shit. Oh no, now you have to loop around and dodge a few things here and there. I mean, it's very workman-like level design to me, and I just find it to be very, well... Again, it isn't intolerable, it's just not very enjoyable, so... Again, here's a video game level to do stuff in. Whoopee. Oh, look, in Circus, because that's fun. I don't know, I mean, again, I suppose one would say, oh, but it's charming and it's aesthetically pleasing, but... To me, it's kind of like when video games like include like fucking flying donuts or food-themed lands in like video games. It's like, oh wow, those developers must have been pretty hungry while making the game. What crazy ideas are they gonna think of next? Which I mean, again, have their charm, but I mean, I just don't find them very appealing because it's just, it feels like it's trying to be forcibly saccharine, and I don't know, it just doesn't really feel genuine or work within the franchise's logic. Or at least within certain circumstances, unless it's like a whole, like, dreamscape kind of thing, or if it's just fucking whatevers. Like, I mean, Carnival Night Zone sort of gets away with the aesthetic design in terms of it, you know, Eggman's whole thing being theme parks and setting up his own nation styled after clownish music by way of, like, very Orwellian, like, practices. But anyway. I will say though, like, I mean, they do handle some of the enemies in terms of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 quite nicely. Like, I mean, they're often very one-trick sort of, you know, robots or whatever, but again, they usually have a pretty good one-trick, like the enemies that shoot out those spike balls over there. I mean, they can pip you and take out your shield, and again, you can't just jump on them as you would a regular enemy, because, well, again, they'll pretty much just bounce you off, so again, you gotta use your spin dash to take them out, you know, when you have the opportunity. And again, a lot of the enemies are like that in this game, like, I mean, the earlier enemies, you know, with the spikes on them in the Marble Garden Zone, again, they're like that as well, so, like, I mean, again, there are interesting ways to take out your enemies in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Like, I mean, again, it is still very hop and pop, and again, if you're in a good rhythm, you can take him out quite easily. But, I mean, it is a testament to the game design that, again, you do also have to, you know, think a little bit rather than just acting on instinct of going jump, 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 jump. And I don't know, like, I mean, with such simple design, it, like, makes these mechanics feel really, I don't know, it makes the mechanics feel enjoyable. Oh joy, well, it's Super Sonic theme. Which can actually make the segment a bit of a pain in the ass, actually, because you're moving so fast, but then you get caught up in the fan, suction, and that makes the section suck. Carnival Suction Zone. Oh, yes, I went there. Wham, 420 blaze it. Yeah, can you tell I have fuck all to say, / absolutely nothing more to ruminate on with Carnival Night Zone? Dun, dun, dun. Well, I guess, anything else to really talk about? I'm actually kind of curious, actually, because I think I brought this up in Sonic 3D Blast, but again, the Flickies are actually, from their own game series. I think even predating Sonic the Hedgehog, actually, but, yeah, the Flickies are from, like, an old arcade / Master System game called, Flicky. Which, again, it actually had a very similar concept to Sonic 3D Blast, where you basically play as the titular blue bird, you lead birds to safety and avoid, like, a very anime-looking cats. So, yeah, it's kind of weird that Sonic series kind of enveloped them into its fold, really. I don't know, I mean, I suppose you could probably have a similar example with, like, what were they called again? The Nightmaren, or... no, the Nighttopians, that's it. How the Nighttopians sort of became the Chow when, you know, Sonic Adventure sort of pinched Knight's A-Life system. I don't know. And yeah, that's another thing that can happen, it can pip you, but on the plus side we don't have to listen to the Super Sonic theme, instead we get the shitty Carnival theme. Ugh, joyous fucking day. So I suppose, just pad out for time really, I've been playing Assassin's Creed 2 recently, which has given me a flavour for the Italian accent. It's kind of funny, actually, because I haven't actually... the more I've thought about it, I haven't actually played Assassin's Creed 2 in, like, fucking years at this point, and, yeah, I mean, to give my opinions on it, still a very solid game. I actually enjoy it a lot more now than I did, beforehand. Although, I mean, I will say, going back to it, though, like, I mean, I remember the parkour being, like, the absolute best in that game, and again, it is some really good stuff, but, well, again, the more I've paid attention to, like, the mechanics of the game, like, it feels very much like an Assassin's Creed 1.5, because, I mean, besides, like, speeding up the climbing abilities, Ezio pretty much acts very similar to Altair in terms of how he scales structures. It's just that they made the climbing a bit more expedient in some aspects. I mean, of course, this is a little bit before you get, like, some of the additional abilities, like the jump climb thing from Rosa by the time you get to Venezia. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, apart from that, it's still a pretty solid game. Although much easier as well, now that, considering how it handles the health system and whatever, but... that's neither here nor there in this case. And if you're wondering what any of this has to do with Sonic, Roger Craig Smith, who voices Ezio in Assassin's Creed, is the voice of Sonic, concordantly. Although it is kind of weird, because I mean, I thought Roger, like, quit doing the voice of Sonic, but then he came back, I think. I mean, he came back in Frontiers, so, I don't know, I guess maybe they renegotiated his contract? Yeah, well, whatever. I guess the other thing I was also going to bring up in relation to Assassin's Creed 2 is, the Carnivale theme. So, yeah, take that. And that's what happened when the Helix catches up with you. It basically exits you out of the stage, so... Get all the gifts and gabs that you can, and then you're pretty much sorted. Unless you're not, and get caught by the double Helix and play Silent Hill Homecoming. Then you truly will be doomed! Next to life, whoopee. But yeah, you can usually tell when the other, like, Helix is catching up when you hear the brrrr sound. Shooby-dooby-do up, dun. Go get this. Well, actually, no, we're nearly to the end of the stage, thankfully, so, whoopee. Excessive speed and going off screen. Oh my god, Knuckles is chuckling even though his theme song said no. Tee-hee-ha, ho-hee, 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 ho-hee. Swedish crap. Anyway, here's another Eggman boss fight. Actually, which now that I remember, I think I cheesed most of these as Supersonic as well, so, I mean, I do apologize if you wanted to see very legitimate runs of these boss fights, but, fuck it. Oh, well, we're finally finished. Thank fuckity goodness. Oh, time is actually edging quite close to when I have to go to work, so I might be cutting this very finely with a fine-toothed comb. And now we have Ice Cap Zone. Yep, Tails doesn't get the snowboarding sequence because I guess he's too young for it. It does get covered in a wall of snow, though. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. To talk about the new theme of Ice Cap Zone. I mean, the composition itself is okay. I mean, to be honest, it would work fine as the ice theme of any other level in Sonic, but not Ice Cap, though, because my biggest problem with it is that it feels a bit too jovial. And, like, I mean, again, I guess you could sort of attribute that to... again, I wouldn't call the atmosphere the original melancholy or anything, but it was, I don't know, like, I mean, it was rather mysterious in some aspects. I mean, it was mysterious, but catchy. And again, I felt like it really sort of fit the whole... Crikey. I mean, I feel like it fit the whole general vibe of what Ice Cap Zone really was, whereas this... It feels more like it would fit more above ground, you know, it's like, oh wee, Winter Wonderland, penguins, snowman, and all the joyous things we have to enjoy. Whereas the original... I don't know, it just seemed more fitting for the underground segments, which again is where you spend the majority of your time in Ice Cap Zone. So, yeah, this is just kind of there. Again, bear in mind, if you are planning on picking up the Sonic Origins collection, the gameplay itself remains unchanged, it's just the musical quality. I mean, I will say this though, I mean, this is at least probably the most salvageable track from, you know, the PC/Origins remixes, but, yeah, apart from that, it's all just sort of buggery. I mean, level design is still the same, you still have to, you know, fight against Chill Penguin and, you know, the fucking Orbinauts or whatever, so... Yeah, just bring your shotgun ice and go to town. Not really too much to say other than that, really, so, yeah, I guess I might as well go into a bit more Sonic mythology stuff. Yeah, Ice Cap Zone makes a return in Sonic Adventure, actually, so... Yeah, I mean, it does pretty much confirm that, you know, again, the Mystic Ruins that crashed is, for all intents and purposes, Angel Island Zone, or at least parts of it anyway. Though it is kind of weird, actually, because, I mean, I would actually like to have seen, like, a more explorable Angel Island Zone at some point. I mean, we got a bit of that in Sonic Adventure where we got to go to Red Mountain, but, I mean, like, I think it would have been cool to have seen renditions of, you know, Sandopolis or Marble Garden or whatever, you know, in more modernized visuals and, you know, especially with some of the exploratory gameplay of Frontiers, actually. I think that probably would have allowed us to explore Angel Island to its fullest extent, but, I don't know, no dice, I guess. Well... We... Automation, truly the thing that ruins Sonic games forever. Woohoo! By the way, if you get frozen by those, you lose rings. Christ, I cannot think of a single bloody thing to think about. There we go. Come on. All this platform is mainly there for Sonic, but as Tails, we can pretty much bypass it all. I don't know how I didn't get frozen there, but, whatever. Small mercies, I suppose. Oh, the beautiful polar ice caps. And the rings. And now it's time to make this boss trivial. See, look, Tails cares not. He has servants to do this bidding. And on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on the Sonic Oranges collection, well, more stuff. Catch you next time.